everybody out there. Karl Perazzo. Thank you, LP, for having me. I'm truly honored and blessed to share my story. It's a little long, but please enjoy. And I invite you, you have questions or comments, please type them in and let's have fun. So my name is Karl Perazzo. I am originally from San Francisco, California, born and raised. I was born at St. Luke's Hospital on Valencia Street, Valencia and Army, which is the barrio de Mission. And that's where it all started, right there. That's me and my dad, Fred. Yeah. And I had a normal kind of Latin upbringing, like Mexican. I'm Mexican Italian, by the way. People always ask me that question. Normally I say my mother's Cuba and my father's from Iceland, so that makes me an ice cube. But no, I'm Mexican Italian. And let's get right into it. So going to school, I was always banging on the tables and on the desk, and a lot of time getting in trouble, and but my music teacher, I went to Edison School Elementary. My music teacher, Miss 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, I had two music classes actually. My music teacher, Miss 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, told my parents, hey, there's something in your son, he's talented. He's always banging. He's always, In her class, there was no drums. It was all just like those recorder things and I don't know, I forget what they call them, but not the snake charmer thing, but these little like marimbas, so we would play, and I would always overplay, like we're just learning single notes, and then she told my parents all this, and so then I got into the drumming class, which was taught by 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, and he is one of the main guys that opens up a door, and you're going to see my life story just kind of unfolds and pieces together. It's fascinating. I couldn't sleep last night because just reminiscing and thinking about when I was a child and how many things were put in front of me, and all this family support and just it's an unbelievable story. And hopefully, instead of listening, I would like you to feel it. And so here I am with 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, and fourth grade, I'm playing, and normally up until this point, most of my gigs were parties at the house. That was most of my childhood. I was really a street kid. I would go out and just play all day, never come home, no eating, no, and so my mom would wake me up sometimes, like what I would think was 2 a.m, like the old Latin way, mijito, mijito. And I'm like, what's going on, Mom? She said, wake up, we have a performance. And you're there, you're like, oh man. So you're playing, those are my first gigs. And now going back to 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, which is an incredible story. You're going to trip on this one. 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘 was actually my dad's drum teacher. My dad played drums. My mother was a singer, guitar player. They never taught me how to play music. They just let me be you know, my household was always full of music. And that's my family right there. That's my sister, Linda. That's my mom, Abby, my father, Fred, and myself with a pompadour. That's right. Yeah, that's it. Tres flores. That's it. 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗢𝗏. Now, that photo was also our band photo of Los Corazones. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. So here I am. My dad says, you know, outside of school, I'm going to have to take you to get some private drum lessons. So I remember going to this place, and we go down the stairs, and there's a guy there. You know, he's, you know, really happy to see me. He says, man, this is great. You know, I'm excited to teach you. And he says, okay, well, let's just check your sticking. We're going to do a simple triplet in around fourth or fifth grade. And so the guy, okay, just on the snare drum now, because he had a snare tom, floor tom, cymbals, and bass drum. And so he goes, you know, one triplet, two triplet, three triplet. I go, oh, okay, yeah. Would you like to try it? Yeah, I'll try it. So I get on the drums, and right away, you know, and the guy said, all right, I want you to come back next week to help me teach. And that's exactly what I did. Oh, good days, good times. That was part of my musical upbringing. A lot of music in the house. A lot of cumbias and, you know, jazz. Well, listen, Carmen Rivero. It was the only album, Latin. It was just cumbias all the time, or jazz. You know, Herb Albert, Trini Lopez. My dad loved his jazz, but he also told me, he said, listen, you know, you just can't play bongos, because at that time, just playing bongos, you know, you got to learn all of it. You got to learn how to play the conga drums, the timbales, drum set, because you got to be a double-edged sword in this business. And you know, listen, I really don't know what it means at this point, but he turned out to be right. He also wanted me to learn vibes and marimba. And as I'm in school, speaking of vibes, Arthur Flower was very good friends with a great musician, Karl 𝗟𝗣𝗦. And Karl 𝗟𝗣𝗦 comes to my school, and I am the conga player in the band. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. 6 years, I mean, sixth grade, by the way, was probably the best 5 years of my life. And got to know a lot of kids. The custodians, can't even say custodian, but them too. I was really a teacher's pet after that performance. They used to give me extra graham crackers. And then I went on to do some guest appearances with Karl 𝗟𝗣𝗦. And I remember one of them where we opened up for Mongo Santa Maria. And I'm in the sixth grade. And the opening act before us was a band called Azteca. And so this is where I meet Pete Escovedo, Coke Escovedo, and the conga player. The original conga player with Azteca was Victor Pantoja. But this particular day was the debut of Sheila Escovedo. And so she must have been 14 or 15 years old. I was blown away, you know, by her playing, her ability was just phenomenal. It's like, and she plays almost backwards, you know. She plays like this way, but then goes to this side, you know, on the heel toe side of the drum goes to the tumbadora. And and you know, like I said, I couldn't sleep that night, but you see all these things start to unfold, you know. And I really loved Latin music. That's really got me going. Love salsa and my sister Linda, she she said, "Oh, you like salsa?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I'm gonna get you an album," and she gets me a 𝗟𝗡𝗦𝗘 album. And to this day, it's one of my favorite all-time records. And I got into Joe Cuba and Tito Puente, and this is where things start to unfold. Like if you took a piece of paper and when you unfold it, it has all these creases in it. And each crease is an avenue of my life. So my sister Linda is my blood sister, and we share the same mother. My sister's father, Joe Ross, who was also a timbalero from New York City, he had a son named Gilbert Ross, who was amazing timbal player. He was also a prodigy. And he was actually way ahead of, I mean, he was way far advanced. And he used to do shows with Tito Puente. And they would take me to these shows. So I really got to meet Tito, the Johnny Rodriguez, the Joe Maderas, and until this day, these people are my friends now. These are my family. These are my great inspirations, right? So you can see all this. This is just one side of it. And on the other side are my cousins, George, Armando, Pancho, Jose, and Carlos. And they also love Latin music. But one time I went to go visit, and they sat me down. They said, "Yeah, we know you like, you know, Barreto and Fania All Stars and all that stuff. And but we're gonna play you something, and it's very important that you hear this." And very adamant. To this day, they're still very adamant. They put on this record, Santana, and it was like, boom. All the music that I've been listening to, whether it was blues, jazz, rock, Latin, was all in one album. And I was like, this is amazing. And this was my introduction to Santana. And I played those records to death. I'm quoted in interviews saying, "I played with Santana when I was younger, but then my needle broke. I learned every solo, every note for note on those records. I learned note for note on all the Tito Puente stuff. And growing up as a kid was amazing, just surrounded by music. And you grow up and you don't know why you play music. You just have an ability to perform. You know, I used to sit in front of my house with my bongo drums. Bongos are my first instrument. Congas are my second instrument. And timbales are my third instrument. So growing up in the barrio, I used to just play for I used to play for all my neighbors, and as I was starting to grow up, I was starting to change the instruments and playing more timbales and more. And as a young kid, um, before I get to this next photo, I wanna share something. One of the biggest things that happened to me in my life was the death of my mother. And when you're 11 or 12 and your mother passes, you can't wrap your head around it. You just don't. So all those parties, all the mijito parties, and wake up, we have a performance, and all this stuff, gone. Gone. Silence. So all I had was my drums. So my cousin George, he gave me his drum set, red Ludwig Sparkle drum set. And so those were my timbales. I used the tom, I put it on a snare stand, and then I used the floor tom for the low drum. And I didn't have any cowbell, so I just played on the rim. I used to play for hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. It was just a meditation for me. It was a way to really just escape, right? And it was the best times in my life of really finding out who I am. And I really found my importance of why I do what I do today. But I knew it back then, Um, and so I really got serious into that. I really started to love uh, the timbales. Um, and this story is going to go. My life is going to go bounce around because this is the way what it is. And as I was growing up playing timbales, I took it serious, and people were starting to notice, and I would do shows with my brother Gilbert Ross, my stepbrother, who's a timbale player with Malo, by the way. And so if we have that photo of maybe one of the street fairs, yeah, look at that, huh? Wow, that's right. That band right there was Mestizo. We had a lot of talented musicians in the Bay Area at that time, and that's my brother and I, Gibby. I think I think maybe he's uh, 10, 11, maybe. I think I'm 12. I think he's 10, I'm 12, somewhere right in there. Pretty crazy times. And my cousin George took me to, he used to play in a band too. He was a drummer as well, my cousin George. He took me to a rehearsal and used to play in a band called the Latin Flames. That's right, the Latin Flames. They were serious because on the drum set, they had a Latin flame with Elmer's glue and glitter. So it was efficient. So my cousin takes me to this rehearsal, and the Latin Flames is a family. It was the Morales family, all of them equally talented. So it was just a huge family. Must have been 50 of them. They were Costa Rican and Nicaraguense. And you're going to see how this unfolds, because this is crazy. So I go into this rehearsal, and my cousin tells them, hey, before we get started, if you want me to be in the band to play drums, my cousin's going to play congas. But they already had a conga player. And that was Carlos Morales, which we'll show that picture later. And the next thing that unfolded was unbelievable. So here I am put in a spot, and they put me on the congas. And the congas, normally if they're on a stand, they're straight. These were like this. And I'll tell you why later. So we play the tune, and the Edgar was the leader. He was like, bro, yeah. No, for sure. He's the conga player. And then the brother, Carlos, goes, what do you mean? I'm the conga player. And he goes, no, not no more. You're going to be the singer. And they fist fight right there in the living room. Oh, it's amazing. It's just Latin power. And so now I'm playing with a band called Latin Flames. And we only did birthday parties and all that stuff. I'm still very young. I'm in 12 years old, and just doing private parties with them. But I play congas. My cousin played drums. And when we didn't play, I used to, since my household, and it's nothing, I don't have any regrets, but I was pretty much alone. My dad was soul searching after the death of my mom. So I was home quite a bit by myself, and which was okay. I had my drums there, and sometimes I would just go outside walking around, just at a very young age, looking for bands rehearsing or, parties or, And I remember in the Mission, there was this club called the Transfer Club. And I used to stand outside the Transfer Club. And there was this security guard. His name was Romero Rochan, Panamanian guy. And he finally talks to me. He says, hey, kid, don't you have anywhere to go? Do you have a home? I said, yeah, I have a home, yeah. Because we're always out here, like every weekend, I said, yeah, I like the music. He goes, oh, yeah, you like music? He says, do you play? I said, yeah. I play bongos and congas. And he goes, oh, yeah, you do? I said, yeah. So on the break, he goes in and he gets the band leader. There were two band leaders. They were brothers, Carlitos Franco and Bismarck Franco. And they come outside. He said, hey, you play? I said, yeah. Hey, you want to come in and sit in? I'm like, yeah, sure. I go in, I sit in. People went crazy. They take me out, and the father is there now. And the father told me, hey, you start Thursday. You're going to play Thursdays and Sundays. And you're going to get $15 a night. And I just was frozen. I was like, I got the gig? He goes, yeah. I said, man. Although I was playing with 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. Latin Flames at that time. Later became 𝗟𝗑𝗏 𝗦𝗧𝗎𝗓𝗓. For me to have a salsa gig. So I did my Thursdays and I did my Sundays. There was only one problem. I didn't have any instruments. So I borrowed the bongos. The club had bongos, so I would borrow their instruments. And I told my dad, thank you, Phil, thank you. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I need my own bongos. I got to get my drums. I need instruments. I got to work. And he goes, I understand that, son, but I don't play bongos. You got to go get them yourself. Like I said, yeah, but can you just at least buy them? And then, for me, could you do that so I can work? And I really want these bongos. My first bongos were gum bobs, actually. And I bought them at somewhere down in San Francisco on Columbus Street. And he went with me. I wanted to show him, so he went with me. He put $5 down on layaway. And I said, Dad, how am I going to pay for this? They were like $70. And he said, son, at the end of the day, I'm going to have an idea. End of the day comes, calls me in the living room. Says, I got the idea. You make $30 with them, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to shoe shine. Here's your shoe shine box. Taught me how to shoe shine. So I went down, learned how to shoe shine. And he told me the trick is, when you're shoe shining, is you got to pop the rag. You got to pop. So, you're buffing the shoe after you're doing all the stuff on the shoes, and get around the sole, doing that. I took it to the next level. So I took the rag, and I would go on the guy's shoe. And the tips were rolling. The tips were rolling in. I had the bongos paid for in no time, Jackie, I love you too, brother. And I can see things starting to happen. And I'm going to speed it up now. Because the piano player in the band that I was working in the club, which was 𝗟𝗑𝗦𝗘 77, 𝗟𝗑𝗦𝗘 77. There was a piano player named Gary Flores, and he had a really good band called Salsa Caliente. And so he hired me to play bongos. And so I started gigging with them. And in that band was my compadre Eric Rangel. There was Max Cortez on the congas. There was Jack Gruber on the congas. So my good brother Oscar Sotero. We also played a lot of percussionists in San Francisco. You wouldn't believe it. So I started doing gigs with Salsa Caliente now. And now I'm getting busy now. And they're great horn players. And Gary Flores first was a trumpet player. Then he went to piano later. Excuse me. And this is how things happen when you play in a band. Two things. You never know who's in that band, and you never know who's watching you perform. So whatever you do it 100% and give it your best. Because if it was a horn player, I got recommended to go play with Cesar Ascarun's Caesar's Latin All-Stars. And so things are going to start to unfold faster. So you got to follow me. Meanwhile, I'm still playing with the Latin Flames. By then, we changed our name to 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. Bam. And that's me, the little guy above the little guy. That's why the congas were the way they were. He was the conga player. But I got to tell you, he was very, very talented. That was Carlos Morales. He played congas. He sang. He danced. He was funny. He was a complete showman. And what an inspiration he was. And I'll show you how small the world is. He went to school with my sister, Linda. Everything's passing. You start thinking of all this stuff, So now I get the gig with Caesar's Latin All-Stars. And I'm playing timbales. And this club was the biggest club in San Francisco. He had already had a club previously on Green Street, which was a very, very famous place for all the musicians to go, all the top musicians to go. Top. Even if Tito Puente, 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦, all the guys that would come, they would all go to Caesars on Green Street. And I got to perform on the one on Army Street, 3140 Mission Army. 3140 Mission on Mission Street, yeah, by Army. And this club was open from 10 to 6 in the morning. So I played after hours. And yes, I walked to all my gigs, never had a car. I rolled my timbales for a half a mile with a cymbal bag because I loved it so much that I never seen the walk. I only seen the performance. And this band, Roger Glenn, who also played with Mongo Santa Maria, 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗜𝗘, unbelievable Peruvian bass player who was important in my life, got me to play with other bands in jazz, and you're moving on and you're doing all this stuff. And that's only the Latin side, right? Now let's rewind a little bit. As a kid, and Joe Ross taking me places, I got to meet people like Carlos Federico, who was a Panamanian piano player. I used to do shows with him, and we used to do shows with the Escovedo family. That's Pete, Juan, Peter Michael, and Sheila. And so we all start to get to know each other. So we all start to grow up together. And I know this is I'm ping-ponging back and forth, but I got to tell you how important all these avenues are. Yeah, Jules is texting me. Yes, that was the Carnival in San Francisco. My brother and I played. Yeah, that was one of them. I did all the carnivals. Yeah, okay, Carnival. There I am with an apple hat. And then look at this photo. That's a girl in the hat, 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦 𝗟𝗑, who's an author, very accomplished musician, school teacher now, college. That's Gilbert on piano. These are all still my good friends, by the way. That's Cookie on the congas. And he's now he does all my artwork. He does most of the murals in San Francisco. And the gentleman with the beard and the sunglasses is none other than Mike Spiro, the great Mike Spiro, conga player, batalero, Brazilian. He's just a musicologist. He's just unbelievable musician. You see how this is. And Mike and I still play together, by the way. We have a band. And so we're moving on now. I'm playing with Caesar. I'm playing with now 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦 Inspiración, and I playing at Caesar's one night, and in comes Jorge Santana with the amp and guitar. I'm like, what? So I get to know George Santana. I later become his timbale player. And I'm going to speed up because this is very long. This is going to be a long show. I become his timbale player. And I owe so much to George. I love him to death, and rest in peace, my brother. So guys would, Chepito, all these guys, they would walk in, and I would be like so starstruck just to see, these are my idols, you know. to see everybody here. And it's after you start meeting these people, you start to realize, wow, what my dad told me is true. You got to be like a double-edged sword. You got to play all the instruments, because I was getting calls for everything, right? Plus, I was singing, and my dad said, one of the most important things in this business is never be late. Be a professional. If they're going to pay you $1, and you got to earn that $1, and part of it is being on time. Be respectful to the musicians, and do the best you can. He goes, that's all anyone can ask for. And he's so right. I could count on this hand how many times I've been late. I have nightmares about being late. Don't be late. Don't be late. So, Jorge Santana. From Jorge, I started meeting other people, and they reformed the original group Malo. I don't know if we have that photo, but that would be photo number 12. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. That's live at the Greek Theater. And do you know who that conga player is? Francisco Aguavella, who I also played with 𝗟𝗑. I played with him at 𝗟𝗑 for many years. Great teacher. Very strict. Very strict. He true master. No, is just a master. And so growing up, now I'm ping-ponging between 𝗟𝗑𝗦𝗘 y su inspiración, Latin, 𝗟𝗑's Latin All-Stars, Salsa Caliente. I left Actualidad because I only had Thursdays and Sundays, and they were paying me $15. I love you guys. Thank you. But I'm starting to move now. My life is starting to really move. Oh my God, I must have been working 6 nights a week. And if I wasn't rehearsing, if I wasn't playing, I was rehearsing. If I wasn't rehearsing, I was practicing. This was my life. And I would do it all over. I would do it all over. Shows. I remember I was living on Fair Oak Street, and I seen a guys loading into this like a rec center across the street. It's called the Jamestown Community Center. And it's 𝗞𝗔𝗥𝗟. So I go downstairs and tell him, Pete. And he goes, hey, Karl, what are you doing here? I'm like, I live right there, right across the street. I go, are you playing here? He said, yeah, we're playing here. I go, no kidding. He said, we don't have a bongo player. Do you want to play? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to play. Okay, this time we start. It's a rec hall. It's in the barrio. It's a rec hall. Got a place where they go play bingo. I used to play volleyball in there. We're playing, and I noticed that there's a guitar and an amp that's set up, but never shows up. It's just there, standing there. And it finally shows up, and it's Carlos Santana. And now I couldn't wrap my head around that one. I was like, what? And I play Europa. And it goes into that double time thing. And he pushes. He was pushing. but he was pushing me. And more of me came out that day. The real me, the suppressed guy came out. Like I was, like the first time a bird just flies. I felt free. I didn't even know whose arms these were. They were just going. I learned later that all that is my influences. The Armando Perazzas, the 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦, the Mongo, the Francisco Aveas, and I could go on. I remember that show. It was yesterday. It's crazy. Crazy. I couldn't sleep that night either. I was, just a young man, just still in my young teens, and, and my cousin 𝗟𝗑 had already fed me Santana to the bone. I knew every song, every solo, Chipito solo, Mike Carabello solos. It's amazing. So every Sunday, I had a 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦 that was given to me. And I was a little guy. I was a little frame guy. I still am. I'm not tall, but I'm not, I was I was always like 80 pounds until 2 weeks ago. But I used to have to run around in the shower to get wet, but I used to carry that conga 6 blocks to Dolores Park to play rumbas in the daytime with all the rumberos there. And look at that. That's about right. Yeah. That's part of my life, man. And can you put up that photo one more time, Jules? The guy in the background is George, the one with the Latin afro. All the other guys are, and that's Luis Carranza in the middle, the afro. And all the way to the left with the blue bandana is my compadre, 𝗟𝗑𝗦𝗘 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗡, who is another important figure in my life. And a hell of a cowbell maker now. We go to the park and play. And I remember some guy sitting next to me, and he's just there, he's just like closed his eyes and he's listening. And then he a big afro, skinny. And then he told me, hey, young brother, it's okay if I play the quinto a little bit? Because they always used to put me on the quinto, And I said, yeah, sure. Man, split open, tape, blood everywhere. It's just, it's just you don't feel any of that. You just play for hours. So I give the quinto, I turn the quinto to this guy, this gentleman. And, in every park, it's always 𝗟𝗏𝗡, And he goes, piti, ta 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 tapoto, tapoto. And I look, and I know that sound immediately, like if it was a message coming out of the drum. And I put my hands on the drum, and I look at the guy, and I said, are you Mike Carabello? And he said, yeah. I was like, another piece. What are you doing here? He said, just enjoying the day. I said, I couldn't believe it. And after we jammed, he said, hey, young brother. And he's still my brother, Mike Carabello, he's still My brother, man, he's just, I love him to death. He says, hey, um, he was very honest with me. He said, I'm in a rehab. I'm getting better, man. I want to get back to my music. And I'm going to graduate in about a month. And at the graduation, I want to put a band and I want you to play. Will you play for me? I said, of course. Of course I will. Oh. And he calls me. Remember old machines, they had cassette tape, right? So the phone rings, and I remember coming home. And he's like, Deed. He said, hey, Karl, this is my 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘. Remember that little chat we had? You still want to do that gig with me? He said, give me a call. I took that cassette out. I put it away. I kept that cassette for years. My 𝗟𝗣𝗦's voice calling me for a gig. Can you imagine that? I'm like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy. But you can see it, although I'm ping-ponging back and forth, it all makes sense. It's not by hook or by crook. It's a sign and design. And I was going to close with this, but I'm not going to close because I still got a lot of story left. And all the musicians that are listening, dreams come true. Dreams come true. They really do. And whether you're on the big stage or whether you're a teacher or whether you're a private teacher or you do local gigs or, you're still a professional. You're still doing what you got to do to feed your soul. You're a soldier. And keep it up. Keep it up. The final destination is not maybe the big stage. It could be you teaching someone else, inspiring the next inspirers, right? This is what I do. This is what I do now. I know it. Happy birthday. Santosh, happy birthday. So don't try to make the big stage your end. There's going to be a lot you're going to be able to do, and you're going to be able to heal a lot of people and inspire a lot of people and impress a lot of people to do better, to be better, right? I was going to close with that, but now that it's fresh on my mind, I want to tell you. So now I'm playing with my 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘. I'm still doing all the salsa gigs. I'm still doing 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. I get later on in life, after doing all this stuff, playing Jorge Santana, my 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, doing a lot of, I start doing recordings, some small movie documentaries, thanks to 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦, the bass player. And you start really, the studio starts testing you, who you really are. Studio doesn't lie. It's like a photo. Yeah, if you rush, you rush. If you drag, you drag. It doesn't. And maybe some songs call for that and some don't. Right? But I started doing more and more studio work. I started getting more big shows, like local shows, and I was rehearsing for, it was like the Latin version of the Jerry Lewis telethon. I'm going to speed it up. Now, let me see. Let me look at my photos here. Oh, yeah, no, let's go backwards. Let's go back. Can we pull up number 7? There it is. That's my 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘 in the hockey shirt. That's David Brown, the original bass player, original conga player with Santana. Philip Wu, Tommy Banks. Yamasaki, the guitar player, played with cold blood. And I couldn't believe I'm doing this here. I record a record with them, with my 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗑𝗦. And so my responsibilities are growing. But one thing for sure, I never made it work. Just made it my passion. It was always passion driven. Until this day, it's passion. If you see me on the stage, I don't get paid to play. I always say that. I get paid to travel. To play, I play for free. Roger. Thank you, man. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Miss Garcia. I was just always passionate about anything that I played, any kind of style I played. I listened, even when my dad took me to hear jazz or blues clubs, took me all over the place to listen to different types of music, and so here I'm doing all this stuff, and then I get this Jerry Lewis kind of telethon thing. And let's go back again. Yeah, can you bring up photo 9? Look at that one. That's John Santos singing, and that's Jose Flores, the half a face, and the other gentleman, I don't remember his name. Now, Jose Flores, I used to play with at the transfer club when I was 12 to 13 in that area. And that, can you bring up the photo one more time? That would be photo 9. Oh, it's gone. Okay, no problem. That was the great Armando Perazzo, my teacher of all teachers. Never taught me anything about drumming. Never. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that. He would never teach me about drumming. He said, Perazzo, you already know how to play. You don't need to study. I'm going to teach you about life. He taught me everything about life. Taught me how to be a businessman. Taught me how to be a better person, treat people with respect. He says, you're going to meet a lot of people in music. A lot of different colors. A lot of different, there's talented people all over the world. You're going to meet them. And you're all going to have one thing in common. You're going to speak a language that the world understands. So there's no room for, arrogance, malice, no fear. Just, you're there, do your job, inspire, create. He taught me all that. I love him to death, and I miss him. And as John Santos, until this day, I tell you, I tell him, but he never believes me. I tell him how important these guys are to me, because these guys were a little bit older than I am, and so I grew up watching them, and above them was the Willie Colon, the Benny Velardes, the Pete Escovedos, the Nick Mendez's, and Chepito, now Raul Rico. I was introduced to Raul from John Santos at Dolores Park, and one of the after one of the carnival gigs, and now I'm knowing Raul. I was a big fan of his from Malo, and just Well, John, anyway, he invited me to play in this Roomba group, and and he featured me actually he featured me on a quinto, which was, I don't know if I have that other picture. I know that he also featured me in his band Típica Cienfuegos, and that would be picture number 10. Look at that. Yeah, look at those sticks. Wow. Those were dowel, by the way, with red tape. Those weren't colored. That wasn't painted. That was red tape. And look at those. They look like ladies or some Slingerlands. Oh man, yeah. That's me. Ricky Rangel in the back. Still my family's. And so all these people that I talk about still are very important to me, because I feel that I would have never made it in music without the support of my personal friends and my family, my cousins, my sister, my mom, my dad. Now, as I'm moving forward, I think we have a picture of me playing at Caesar's Palace. And there. Look at that. George Ellington. Jules Rawls, the trombone player. He used to play with Azteca. And I don't remember how old I was there. But that was my first set of timbales that I bought. I bought those in a pawn shop. I had those for years. I had those timbales for years. I still have my original cases. My original bongo case that I bought, my original timbale case that I used to walk half a mile to go to work. I walked everywhere with them, even with the bongos, in the middle of the barrio. Sometimes I would get pulled over, like, hey, not from the cops, but from all the cholos, like, hey, where you going this in? Like, yeah, I'm going to work, hey. You know what I mean? It's always, you cholo, you got to practice your vowels. Hey, what's going on, hey, hey. Never got past that. Now I'm doing all these gigs, and I get this. Let's speed it up. The jazz gigs that I had was with Conjunto Uhuru at Beijons. It was a club called Beijons. Every Wednesday night, it was serious. There it is, and it was. Babatunde was the conga player. This guy named Carlos Gonzalez. Mario Abruzzo, my boy, man, taught me how to drive. Jorge Pomar, and a lot of great musicians. You would not believe the musicians that we had in that band. Just musicians would come and go out of that band. We had that spot. You couldn't get in on a Wednesday night. You couldn't get in. It was completely packed every Wednesday. And not only was it completely packed, it was packed with all the top musicians from the Bay Area, And so now, let's go back to this Latin thing for Jerry Lewis telethon kind of thing. So we're rehearsing, and I see the door open, like a little bit like that, just a little bit. And I could see people peeking, And for this particular show, I was playing drum set with timbales on the side, which I learned how to do with 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. After I would play, the drum set here, and then the timbales here, like they're, like all they're doing now, And so I remember rehearsing this tune, it's kind of a big band thing, and it was like a big orchestra thing. And then it went into this kind of Latin thing where there was a solo. So now I could see the door opening, and the peaking, the door closing, door opening. And so I take a break, and I go outside. And there's Sheila Escovedo standing there. And she goes, Karl, I'm like, Sheila. She was like, already for us, she was a celebrity. She was already, man, George Duke, Marvin Gaye, you name it, man. She was all over it, man. She was our, cheers to her, my sister, man. So she says, what are you doing? I'm like, no, I just got the show, just just doing this show. I also had a day job at W.R. Grace with my cousin Armando. That was good times. I was there for about a week. Yeah. And she says, well, look, I got a single coming out, in next week, and I'm getting ready to do rehearsing the band for. Oh, okay, cool. She says, I want you to audition. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know if I can, Sheila. She goes, oh no, you can. So she takes me in the room, and there I see these different kind of people that I've never met. I've never met these people. There's 𝗟𝗣 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗑𝗦, who I still play with till this day. 30 something, almost 40 years together. And Steph Burns, shredder, man. Susie Davis, piano player. Miko, unbelievable guitar player. And Sheila, and there's the drum set, and it's standing up drum set. So you gotta see it. So now I know you're gonna probably lose me, but I'm standing up this way. Kick drum here, snare, hi-hat on this side, dead hi-hat. I still play standing up. I sit down, I disappear. And so I said, Sheila, I don't really know what to do. This is like something I've never done before. And she goes, all I want you to do is just do 2 and 4. That's it. 2 and 4 and funky. So I said, oh, okay. So just. And she stops the band. She says, you got a passport? I'm like, no. She says, you should go get one tomorrow. We leave for Germany in a week. I'm like, what? And she was the one that brought me to the big stage. The TV shows. We start doing Purple Rain. Whoa! Look at that, huh? The Latin Elvis right there, bro. Pepe Le Pew, right there. And that's Benny next to me. Steph, Susie Davis, Ken Gray, Cat Gray, 𝗟𝗑𝗦, Juan, my brother Juan Escovedo, and Sheila. Boy, we had a good time. This was a band of just young, crazy, and Sheila was crazy too. Sheila was just, if you know the Escovedo family, that's the most loving, crazy family on earth. Once you're in that family, you're in that family. It's no escaping. And we're all very good friends. We're very close. I'm very close with Pete still. And Sheila is I have a lot of gratitude. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you. And I came off that tour after Purple Rain. Decided I wasn't going to do that anymore. I started playing jazz and touring with Andy Norell and did some stuff with United Nations Orchestra, Dizzy Gillespie. And I was recording for Windham Hill and I started playing with a local band, Zazu Pitts, and I started a band. I was in Japan playing. It was 13 Cats, and now it's called Nothing But the Funk. Still very, very close with 𝗟𝗑𝗦 and talking to 𝗟𝗣 we still have the band, we still play. And I was still very, very busy doing, and then my phone rings. 1991. I pick up the phone, and it's George Santana. He says, "Hey, George, what's going on?" He goes, "Hey, Karl, listen. Um, um, hey, Carlos is holding auditions tomorrow. Can you be there?" I'm like, "What time?" Okay, this time. Is there going to be anybody else there? He says, "No, I don't think so." I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." I hung up the phone, running around the house. Nobody was home. Running around the house like like a crazy. My heart is pounding. Um, I'm filled with emotion, and everything became for me Santana. And I remember going to that. It was at Hun Sound. Benny Wheatfield on bass, Ron Rico, Graham Lear on drums, Carlos, Chester Thompson, the great Chester Thompson on B3, and Carlos. And I remember walking in, and he just welcomed me, gave me a hug, and we talked a little bit. We played. First song we played was Sabor. So it's, and I thought, oh my God, this is happening. I've came out of the records that I've been playing for years, and all of a sudden it just hit me what my cousin told me. He said, "One day you're going to play in this band." I said, "Yeah, you're crazy." And we play. Carlos says, "Man, thank you. Thank you. And welcome." And 29 years later, 29 years later, what a journey. But all these things that unfold, and like I said, like a piece of paper, when you unfold it, all the creases, they lead to an important part of your life. And Annie, thank you. And Santana has been one of my greatest teachers, musically, spiritually. This is where I tell you, dreams come true. It was my dream to play with Carlos. It was also my dream to play with Tito Puente. That dream came true. Whether it was Larry Harlow, that dream came true. Or the Dizzy Gillespie, that dream came true. But it was always somebody there guiding you in that direction. whether it's the 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗡 or your cousins or someone always pushing you, helping you that way, like they were angels in disguise. I'm truly grateful for the life and for everything that was presented to me. Nothing's given to you. You're talented. Your talent is probably the one thing you're given. If you have it, everyone has something, and that's given to you. And the rest, you have to work for the rest. You have to work for it. You know, you have to work for the rest. And you're probably going, wows and all the uh, premios and all that you see behind me. I don't come in this room. I'm never in this room, ever. These are validations. What you see are validations of life. These are all the recognitions of life. And I couldn't have done it without Sheila, Carlos, and Spider-Man. I know you're looking at Spider-Man. I know you've seen him. Spider-Man got bit by the spider and later found that he could do all this incredible stuff. I got bit by the drum. So I look at my talents as superpower. I'm a superhero without the costume. But my powers are to inspire people. I want to plant a seed in you in whatever you do. I don't care if you work at Macy's. I don't care whatever you do. You have the same ability I have to inspire people with a spiritual virus of kindness and treat people the way they should be treated on a multi-dimensional level. It's no secret. Look what's going on. The missing link is the music. It's the international language. Carlos is taking me all over the world. We play in Bahrain. We play in Dubai, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, Russia, and even the Fresnos of Russia or the Fresnos of Europe. And we all speak the same language. Love, music, and unity, right? And really, no, thank you for being here. I never get to talk about my life, Andy B, thank you, my brother. I never really get to talk about my life. I'm not, I like I said, these are the validations, it's like a gymnast. They study their whole life, sacrificing their bodies to win a blue ribbon, to win a gold medal. Basketball players, baseball players, football players, they study their whole life to make it to the big game. And you know how small that window is. Some people have amazing careers and never win the ring. But those are the same people that inspire me. not the people that win the championships. Because they work hard. They're driven, right? I want you to stay true to yourself, true to your music. And if you don't play music, stay true to yourself and stay true to your heart, stay true to your life. Whatever you do. 𝗟𝗩𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. Whatever you do, just stay true. And you too can make a difference. Now, thank you. I want to talk about things that unfold. 𝗟𝗑𝗦 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦 first was Latin Flame, then they became 𝗟𝗑𝗦 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. And the picture's gone, right, Jules? Yes. Okay. So in that photo, was Luis de Neri, Luis Felipe Morales, and 𝗟𝗑𝗦 𝗟𝗑𝗩 Morales. Okay? And she was the singer, she was the sister, she was a singer, dancer, and Luis was the kind of the famous brother. That's Luis de Neri, Luis Felipe Morales, who also sang with René de la Rosa, the Bay Area salsa band. They had their own TV show, as a matter of fact. Those people had kids. And Luis had a son, Luis Jr. And 𝗟𝗑𝗩, she had 2 kids. She had Armando Cordova and Jeffrey Cordova, the father of Armando Cordova. I knew these kids when they were like in their underwear, and Spider-Man and Batman underwear, just running around like crazy. Life's still unfolding for me. This is where I want to bring in my brother, 𝗟𝗑𝗦 𝗟𝗑𝗦. Hey, 𝗟𝗑𝗦.
There he is. Karl.
Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Hi, buddy.
Brother, thank you
buddy.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 𝗟𝗑𝗦 𝗟𝗑𝗦. This is my A&R guy, my
Karl,
LP rep.
Thank you for your time, for spending this time with us and sharing your story, your journey, the ups, the downs. And that's basically what this, I mean, it's all inspiration, you know, it truly is, Karl. And to hear your story about the, just your mentors, you know, everybody, Francisco, everybody, Michael Carabello.
Yeah.
And now you're one of them, you know, you are a mentor to many people. So it's just,
it's the cycle of life. Right?
It's a cycle of life.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, you know, to see that. And
those same people that we talk about passed the torch to me, and now I pass the torch. You know.
Yeah.
And the reason why I wanted to bring go ahead, Jared.
No, go ahead, please.
You know, the reason why I wanted to bring Jerry, and I mentioned watching Armando Cordova and Jeffrey Cordova and Luis grow up and to be multi-talented kids, singers, producers, songwriters. This is where I started as a young kid, and now I have under my wing the kids of the people that I used to play with. And we used to have a band called Romance, which broke up when it was a 𝗟𝗩 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦. And we went off another direction, and we started a band called Avance. Yeah. And I'm sorry that I don't have more band. I'm sorry I don't have more band photos of Avance, but due to we can't put up too many pictures. It's just you know. And I had that honor to say that I had the band for 20 plus years. 4 trombones, 4 singers, the whole thing, conga, bongo, timbales, and just and all the top musicians in the Bay Area. I'm grateful for every and each one of those people that passed through my life in Avance, right? And now, what I want people to know is that although I was doing all this stuff, Jerry, I always went back to my roots. I always went back to my roots. I always, I wanted people to know that I play, salsa to cumbias and, and all this kind of stuff that I studied and learned as far as music. I got to record with the greatest in blues, thanks to Carlos. Ricky Martin, Mariah Carey, Los Tigres del Norte, La Mafia, and to have this vocabulary and this willingness to play this type of music. I always loved salsa music. And Armando, Jeffrey, Lewis always inspired me. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get this. And we have like 4 CDs out. And again, if any of you guys want to ask questions out there, you guys could ask questions. Please don't be.
I did find one from Daniel. I hope I'm not slaughtering your last name, Mignano. His question was, what is one of the greatest memories you have with your late great brother and partner in crime, 𝗟𝗣 𝗟𝗑𝗦?
Wow. What? Yeah. Daniel, I mean, you can imagine we're talking 20 plus years of being the dynamic duo of the percussion world. There's a lot of, I don't want to get too emotional, but I can just tell you there's many of them. There's many of them. But one is meeting him, and the other one is saying my goodbyes to him. It was the most painful thing I had to do.
Wow.
And telling him I love him,
Yeah.
But all the rest was laughing, creating, drum camps. Boy, we used to stay up, man, and just talk about music and jamming. Giovanni El Negro, Dennis Chambers. It was Mike Mangini. You can imagine. It was like being at the Justice League. You sit at the big desk, at the Justice League. Like, hey, no, I'm Batman. It's like, oh man, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Raul, for being an inspiration.
Oh,
yeah. You could have it. Okay.
This one's from Roger Sanchez. How your Italian and Mexican heritage works in your style and profession as a musician.
Well, I don't let my heritage get in the way. Because you start creating walls, saying no, oh my God, and then a lot of people thought I was, from Puerto Rico, or something like that. Like, no, I never even been to Puerto Rico Street, so. But I admire the music that comes from from Puerto Rico. I admire the music that comes from Cuba. I admire the music that comes from Peru, from Colombia.
That's beautiful.
And listen, don't discredit the mariachi players that come from Guadalajara. Don't. They'll tell you a new butthole. They will tell you that these are some of the best musicians in the world. You know, we're not even talking about joropo, huapango, or any of that stuff that comes from the deep. We're not even going to go there. But as far as heritage, I recognize where I'm from. I recognize who I am. But really, we are all bigger. Yeah. We are all bigger than that. We're all bigger than that. When I'm in Italy, they say my name correctly. Perazzo, Perazzo, Perazzo. And I get so many fans. I love my Italian fans, and in Mexico too. They treat me with so much kindness and love, and this is where my heritage lies, within the passion of the people that I inspire, and the countries that I know that my blood runs through, right? And that. But when it comes to music, you are a transparent being. That's how that goes.
That's beautiful. What an amazing journey, though, especially with everything that you've picked up in the Bay Area. You know, all your mentors in the Bay Area, and then of course just the venues like you were talking about, Caesars, of this place where artists can get together and just flourish and learn from each other, and it, you know.
Oh yeah.
And also just learn as a musician and as a person as well. So that's amazing that you had that opportunity in the Bay Area at that time too.
Yeah, you know, and also at that time, the only references that we had were either records, or if guys came into Caesars, and you know, I remember opening up when I was with 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘, opening up for Willie Colon, like the real Willie Colon, not the one, not today, the real one, like Hector Lavoe, Milton Cardona, Louis Romero, and Mangual, you know, and you're like, man, I was so like mesmerized by this grand, you know, it was like sitting outside of the lion's cage, looking at the lions, you know, and opening up for La Sonora Matancera, Celia Cruz, Roberto Rowena, Cheo Feliciano. See, you know, this is all as minute that it might sound. It's the most important thing of your life. The most important thing for me is I went to go see Santana with Ruben Blades. And I love Ruben Blades, but Santana, bah!
I'm with you.
I could not sleep. And some of my biggest inspirations were up there. Ralphie Rosari, you know, Bobby Allende. Yeah. Oh my God, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. Santana came out like Oreste, Raul, Armando, Graham Lear. It was kaboom, kabam. I was like, what? It was just so, you know, and it taught me to really, like, when you think you're done squeezing the lemon, you're not.
There's a lot more drops.
Get it, boy. Get it. You know, you're going to hear that in your lifetime. Get it.
That's awesome. Jules says that she has another question to put up
I see that.
as well, too.
What is it?
Is it ever too late to start?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Drumming and music is the most healing thing, and it helps open your third eye. It helps. You know, now they're finding that music has the ability to, you know, help people with strokes. and all this kind of thing, because it opens up a different part of the brain where and it's the same reason, you know, we're not going to lie here. It's the same reason why the church has the music.
Yeah.
Because they know that vibration, sound vibration, taps into the soul. Can you imagine church with no music?
Oh man, I can't.
It would be more "Oh Lord" than "Good Lord."
Right. Right.
You're like, "Oh Lord, what time is it? I gotta go." You know.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're in the moment. You're in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Cesar.
Speech. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I want to thank so many people for coming out, but I want to talk about 𝗟𝗣 because 𝗟𝗣, after, you know, my cousin Armando and I, we took the band, and then Armando, my cousin, left, and then my compadre now, Armando Cordova, who I watched grow up. We had the band for many years, and we started producing our own records and started trying to go somewhere. But it's hard to have a 14-piece band, and, you know, clubs are grand opening, grand closing. Nobody wants to pay. It's a hard struggle, right? And so now I'm in a position now to helping him in a different light. He has a 𝗟𝗣 project that I'm helping him with, and he's written, composed, produced all the music himself, and we have a show coming out on the 23rd of January. It's called the 𝗟𝗣 Project, and I'll try to, you know, get that out. But we're trying to keep music alive during this pandemic, you know, and I think streaming and doing this kind of thing is really important, because now people from all over the world that don't get a chance to see us or don't get a chance to talk to us can now see us and talk to us through the internet and through the streaming, and so I think this is a very important platform, you know.
Absolutely.
And I do want to say this. I know this is not a commercial, but it's 𝗟𝗑 for life. 𝗟𝗑 for life.
Thank you.
It's not a commercial, but the reason why I say that is because I used to write in as a kid, and I wanted pictures, and I would see all the pictures, and you see 𝗟𝗑𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥, Tito Puente, Nicky Marrero, Roberto Rowena, Patato, Raúl, all these people, you know, Candido, obviously, you know, later. It's I'm a little older than Gio, but, you know, and all the other guys that came, Ralph Rosari, even their pictures inspired me.
Wow.
Because I knew who they were. I know what they did. I know what songs they played on. I knew their solos. I knew them well. I used to play them in 70, and I would kick up to 33 to 78. Wow. Just to build up my speed.
Wow.
And so I'm grateful for all this. And I'm not. This is not the commercial, but what I'm telling you is that the LP, the brand itself, has inspired me even to be the best that I could be. And God bless you. Play whatever you want to play. I'm just letting you know about my inspirations and about things that touch me and that are part of the unfolding of this origami paper that has all these folds that end up to what you see behind me now. You know?
What's incredible, you are a true legend, an inspiration, a mentor, a wise man, and you are part of that. You inspire so many people, and not only as a musician, but as a human being, as a person. You know, having wonderful conversations with you, and your knowledge that you share. You know, it's important what we do as a person as well as an artist, and so you carry that. And so I can't thank you enough, Karl. Seriously, you are a true inspirational legend, a beautiful human being. You are loved here at LP and DW, and we can't thank you enough. You are an amazing brand ambassador. Every time you're out there dedicating your passion and playing and performing, you know, it shows. You can see it, you can feel it. And that's the beauty behind what we're doing here. And especially in a time like this with this pandemic, you know, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. I can't. You're an amazing person. Thank you so much, Karl, for everything that you do. Seriously.
No, thank you. Thank you. And Sean, one of the local guys, and 𝗟𝗩𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘𝗦, Santana, thank you guys, man. I love you guys. And I really support my local musicians. 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦, oh my God.
𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦.
Oh, can I tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story? So I'm in Florida, and I can't remember if it was Tampa or Orlando, and I went downtown, and I hear this music coming out of this place, and it really was not. I don't think there was really that many people in this place, and I walk in this place, and I see this conga player, and he has a thing. A command. It was almost like the most compassionate 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦 that you can imagine. It was almost seeing like Armando Perazzo sweeping from left to right and right to left and just going through the conga drums like if it was. Now I never seen it. I was like, yo, man, who's this dude, man? Who's this dude? And it was 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦. Man, that dude is bad, bro.
He is.
That's a bad dude. That's a bad dude, man. Man, that's a bad dude. And the artist that he's played with, he was right there, man. You know, there's, man, thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man.
𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘𝗦's family. He's LP, man. He is a wonderful person.
Yeah, all the way, man.
That's the beauty.
Thank
that's
you,
the beauty
𝗟𝗣𝗦.
behind this. It's we have a
right
big
there,
family.
man. Fucking Bruce Lee of the conga, right there, bro. I'm telling you. Hey, shit. I don't care how many drums you put in front of that dude, bro. It's gonna get hit. Yeah, just amazing, man. Rico, man, thank you for coming by. Oh, Ned Aguilar. Thank you. Yeah. You see, they put up a mural in the Mission. They put a mural.
Oh, that's on the 24th that you said, and
yeah,
24th Street and Van Ness and South Van Ness.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can. I know it's a little weird to put it on your phone, but I'm sorry I do that. And this mural, there it is, right there. Yeah, and this was 𝗟𝗣𝗥𝗚𝗓 Gonzalez, and this is Richard Segovia, Annette, myself. I don't know why they made me look like a hormiga, but and then Oscar Soltero, John Santos, and that's Raul. That's Raul there, and Chata Gutierrez. Chata Gutierrez was a DJ, big supporter of Latin music, and
wow.
Yeah, and you see through the Toltecs and the Aztecs and the Mayans and the Siwone and everything. We're all that.
That's
right?
Culture,
and
everything.
They honored us by putting us on a mural, and Annette, man, she's a big part of the mission. I'll tell you what, she's a big part. Is also a fantastic conga player. Yeah. Are you still living in New York? Jules says what?
If you want to show the video,
yeah. There's a video of that day, and before we get started, so show you. John Santos is next to me playing Guido. Okay, all right, and this is with one of the first bands that I started with, like Salsa Caliente.
Wow.
This is, see how everything comes back.
Yeah, it comes.
Everything is
a full circle.
It's a full circle. And so, and the reason why I want to tell you that John Santos is next to me playing Guido is because he's always been by my side. Always. Always.
Yeah.
We haven't played a lot together,
Yeah.
and I hope we do. You know, that's my brother. I want to share a quick story real quick. We learned later in life that my mom and his mom were very good friends.
Oh.
And we have that link. That's it, that one link we have. My dad used to hang with his dad.
Wow.
It's an amazing thing, but it's just not John playing Guido. It's him being by my side through my life.
Wow.
Right there. Go ahead. Hit that video. Hi. You know, I look at that video, I go, wow, man, I didn't even know Joe Pesci plays timbales, but he sounds good. Oh, yeah, man. You see, man, John Calloway was in that video too, man. And I gotta say that that video comes courtesy of Christian Pepin.
Wow.
on his iPhone 2. And not bad.
Well, that's amazing though. That's incredible though. You know, that the amount of experience and culture over there, and especially with you know, everybody
for real.
Just you know, just being cool, just playing with each other and inviting each other up, and that's amazing. It's incredible. Wow.
And you see me looking at John because it's not about hey, look what I could do. It's not about that.
Right.
It's conversating, right? Everything.
Absolutely.
You have to understand this, and allow me to say this. That the reason why I play the way I play is through the inspiration of all these people that came before me. Yeah. This is it. I mean, you got to work hard to get to do anything. To get your job, you got to work hard, right? Yeah. But within that job, it's a responsibility, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And this is the communications that we have. When we play like this together, we're having fun. If you see some of those old photos and we're laughing, it's because we're communicating musically. And it's one of the things that I feel so blessed that I feel that Carlos Santana's tone has touched me, just like it's touched most of the world.
Yeah.
And there I am now.
Yeah. Behind
him. And I looked down and I said, my God, I can't believe that's him. But the communication musically, I wish that for everyone, it was within your own family, till you can look at each other with no words and understand what you're saying through one note. Through one note. The amount of lessons I learned with this man is endless. Most of my chops are taken from him. Camilo Molina Gaitán, my son. Camilo, I love you. You know I love you, man. and they were calling him Karl 2.0. But these guys take it to another level, man. These guys are on another level, man.
The next
Camilo, thank you.
generation of
I
guys,
love you
man.
to death. Yeah. Yeah. Camilo's doing a movie. He's doing a movie right now. So thank you for taking the time out. Yeah, he's recording a movie.
Amazing.
Michael, thank you, man. Thank you.
And these are the people that you help inspire. So it's amazing, how we have this big family, Camilo and Daniel as well too, Daniel Rodriguez as well.
Oh man, that's a whole nother level. And also, they inspire me too, this is what I use. This is my philosophy. I had two choices in life. I could. And first of all, I also want to tell you, I never did drugs, and I never smoked. I never drank alcohol. I never got high. I've gotten high off music. Yeah. That's my for real high.
Beautiful.
Like outer body experience kind of highs, right? And just like Tito Puente, Buddy Rich, inspire me, Dennis Chambers, all these guys, just like they inspire me, maybe I inspire the next inspirers. So the philosophy is that two types of people. There's one that they stand under the apple tree waiting for the apple to fall so they can enjoy the fruit. But God gave me a gift to open my third eye and show me how to climb the tree to get the fruit before it falls.
Beautiful.
And as soon as you grab that apple or that fruit, this is the ultimate choice that you have in your life. You could take that apple for yourself, or you could turn around and look at all the people that are waiting. And you better share the fruit with the people that are waiting. Because as soon as you grab this apple, and it's all for me and none for you, blessings, you will get nothing in return. Your tree will no longer spawn fruits because you don't know how to give. Alan Carlos, gracias. You don't know how to share. What are the fruits? What are the fruits for you and I? The music.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
We have the ability, everybody, not just me, the guy that plays in the local clubs. Because not everyone gets to go see Santana. Not everyone gets to see the great bands. But they go to the clubs. And you have the ability to change their thought process, to inspire them to be better people. To where the first thing they say is, man, you made me feel so good. How do you do that? This is important. This is the things you really gotta this is the things you really gotta pay attention to. It's the people. I always thought that the most important people in music are the soldiers, the ones that are playing in the clubs, the ones that are doing the footwork. And where we're at, we're the generals and we play for the masses. We play for the masses. That we play for the people that really need the healing, whether it's in Paris or Germany, or then you wouldn't believe the crowds we play in front of. You wouldn't believe it. I still don't believe it. One of the last concerts we had with Carlos, Eric Clapton.
Oh, wow.
In Hyde Park. As far as you can see, there were just heads as far as you could see. And Santiago, Chile, as far as you could see, there were so many people that they were waving back and forth and you couldn't fall down. In Mexico City, Carlos makes it a point to play for free for the people.
Wow. That's beautiful.
On the major street. And there's so many people that you can't see the end. It's not the amount of people. You could be one person there and you still have to put out. So 1 or 100,000 people, our goal is one person. Touch one person. Just like I was touched. Yeah. Just like I was touched. I'm in the show. Did I tell you I'm in the show? I'm in the show, LP Stories. It's a wonderful thing. And again, and for all I do, these are the blue ribbons and the first place trophies and whatever you want. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is not really who I am. This is what I do. I'm very honored and blessed to be a part of this musical world. Probably one of the most important things that we need on the planet, you know. Absolutely. Derek, I love you. You should be here, Derek. Derek Zimmerman is also my second boss at command, and then my other.
That is beautiful. Thank you. That's amazing. That's
yeah, yeah. And I can tell you some of I can tell you some of the great things, you know, like just the little things, like I was sharing a little earlier, you know, like I go to Colombia to do this clinic, and I do this clinic in a club called 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘. You know, and you should see the people. They want to be next to you, and they want a piece of you, and I want a piece of them. You know, if I'm the rice, they're the beans. That's it. It's like that.
Well put.
Okay? Here I am. I do this clinic, and I meet the club owner, and he says, I'll do it in English. He says, you know, Perazzo, it's such a great honor to have you in my establishment here in El Pollito, and I want to give you this special gift for you to remember forever. And I said, oh, great. Let's go. Come to my office. And he gives me this. And this is 𝗟𝗣𝗦𝗘 from Colombia. And this is, hey, no.
Yeah.
Listen, look, this is the same as that. This is the same.
Exactly.
This is the same.
Yeah.
This is the same. And sometimes these are even more. And you know, the ultimate gift that Carlos has ever given me is the voice. He's given me a voice. He's given me wings to fly and soar, to places I've never been in the spiritual world.
Wow. But
I want to share something with you that he gave me. Okay. This is going to go down right here. Hey, come here, little. Hey, this is not Lucille, but this is, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
What?
That is beautiful.
What?
Oh my gosh.
See, and I know that Carlos, he doesn't know that I play a little guitar. You know?
Let's hear it.
See, I can play guitar, man. Don't even, you know. Listen to that. It was tuned when I bought it, but man, these are the things that these are the awards that I'm telling you right now. You know, these are the.
I like your guitar playing.
Oh man, hey, can I share a couple things with you? Is that okay, Jules?
Yeah, please.
Can I share some stuff? Okay, check it out. And I don't know this stuff, but I do now. Look, because every musician wants to be a baseball player, and every baseball player wants to be a musician, right? Look at this, man.
Oh, let's focus. Yeah.
Carlos Barriega.
Wow.
I met him, and he says, "Karl, I got your DVDs." I'm like, "Please, come on, bro." No, man, I got you and Raul, man. I play it all the time.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Look at that.
Wow.
What?
Incredible. See?
This
You're
is the
loved,
thing.
man.
These are the things in life. It's not even about being loved. There's a lot of people that don't love me. It's about validation one way or another, right?
Yeah.
About
absolutely.
Hey, wait a minute. We have the power and the gift to inspire, sometimes even the ultimate inspirers, whether you're 𝗟𝗩 𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗘 or Vallega, or man, I got 𝗟𝗑𝗥𝗚𝗚 Molina. These guys are big time,
Yeah.
These guys are also people that I admire for their dedication and drive to be number one. And what does number one mean again? What does number one mean again? It means that you are the one in the tree holding the apple.
Yep.
And you better turn around.
That's it.
You better turn around. You better turn around and feed the people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, man,
once you get there, you have to give back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
huge lesson.
And huge lesson. And even having this conversation, and people that are listening, and I know it might be rubbish to some people. It's like, well, what was he talking about? You know what I mean? But it all means something. It all means something. It's why I'm here today.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
And I can't tell. I love all the fans. Thank you so much for your incredible support. My family, I couldn't do it without my family for sure. Oh shoot, I just got a prompt saying Gucci is having a sale. Anyway, is there any other questions really quick?
Everybody's saying thank you. Rico Rosario saying thank you. I still have your sticks. I will hopefully have you sign it one day. Everybody's just thanking you profusely for being here, for taking the time, and same here too, Karl.
Thank you for listening, Jerry, Jules, Derek. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
and before we
thank you everybody at DW.
And before we go, we're going to put up where we can find you, what you're up to, and follow you.
Oh yeah, really quick. Yeah, that's my Instagram, the percussion part of it, and I make jewelry. I've been just something that kind of gets me out of and that's my jewelry line. I haven't really posted a lot on there, and through the pandemic hasn't been inspiring as far as jewelry making. But I'm learning how to cook. I could cook now. I never cooked in my life.
I was going to say there's a lot of guys who are doing different side hobbies besides playing, or just things that kind of sends them out.
Watch out!
That's one too.
Hey, this is where the Mexican Italian comes out now, bro.
That's a good mix. Mexican and Italian. That the food is just come on.
Yeah. It's like having enchiladas with spaghetti sauce. I don't know about that, but hey, you never know. Yum, yum.
Might invent something there, Karl.
I might have something there. Well, anyway, I want to thank everyone again for listening, and what a joy it is to share some of the little things in my life and the big things in my life and the things that changed me as a person. And really the most important thing for me is I want to go down as a person that was well liked. I don't have to be the best percussionist. That's a lot of responsibility. I don't want to be first in line, the first guy at Best Buy on Black Friday. I don't need to be that guy. It's a lot of responsibility. But I want to be the guy that compliments the line. I want to be the guy that compliments life to the fullest, right? One cha-cha at a time. You know?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good
Thank
to
you
see you,
so
man.
much, Karl.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, Karl, you are a huge inspiration, and we you know, you are a big part of this big community of not only just drummers but musicians, and so you inspire all of us. So thank you once again for your time, and love you, brother. And hopefully when this whole thing is over, we'll get together and hopefully we'll hang out, and hopefully by that time we'll go up there to your neck of the woods. So
yeah, San Francisco is a beautiful place.
We were planning on doing something up there, and then the pandemic happened, and so that won't be the last of it. We're definitely going to go up there and talk to all our artists up there as well. So thank you once again, Karl.
Come visit me on Instagram, and let me know what you think about some of the jewelry stuff. I'll get back to work on the jewelry stuff, and you know. I'm also, did I tell you I got a recording studio? I'm doing a recording now. Like people can tell me, oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm like a little, I'm still learning where the on and off button is, but I'll get it. And normally you just give me sticks and then that's easy, right? Yeah. And now I got to go, let me see, tracks, inputs, yeah. What? How do you? Thank you, everybody. I love you, everybody. Thank you, Jules, Jerry, Derek. Hey, have a beautiful day wherever you're at. Have a wonderful day. Doesn't matter if it's raining or snow outside. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Yeah. Happiness exists. Find the happiness in your heart, and you will make me happy. And this is the kind of virus we need. We need that kind of spiritual virus, that one that makes everybody loving and happy. And you don't have to watch what's on the TV right now. No. You don't have to watch it. And it's only a small percentage of who we are as a people. It's very small. It's not what they're trying to make it to be.
That's right.
Music is bigger. Music is healing. Music.
Absolutely.
Until it's safe to do it.
Beautiful. Shut off that TV, pick up a drum.
I'm going. Hey, how do I turn it off again? Oh, down in here. Oh, yeah, I see it. All right. I will see you guys later.
Thank you, Karl.
All right. Bye.
Un abrazo.